So children, in the earlier video we have discussed about the difference between the entry control loop and exit control loop. Now in this video we will discuss about the for loop. So I have already told you about for loop, that it is an example of entry control loop, and it is an example of entry control loop and performs a fixed number of iterations. That means what? That if you already know number of times you have to repeat the process, then in that case you will be applying the for loop. And also in the earlier video in this class I have discussed with you about the segments of the loop, and in the segments of the loop I have discussed with you four things, that is initialization, test condition, update, and the last part is the body of the loop. So this is the first: initialization, test condition, update, and this particular is the body of the loop. So initialization, I have already told you that it provides the initialization of the control variable. Test condition provides a condition based on which, if the condition is right, only in that case the body of loop will be executed. Then you have update, that is increment or decrement operator applied after or before the variable. So that is needed for the update variable. And then you have the body of the loop, which starts with the curly bracket and it ends with the curly brackets. So this is the proper syntax of defining a for loop, where for loop will be followed by initialization, then this delimiter sign over here, then test condition, then delimiter sign over here, and then this update part. And then you will be starting with the opening curly bracket, having the body of the loop inside the curly brackets, and finally you will be closing the curly bracket over here. So this is the syntax, and in this video we will be discussing with you about the two programs. One program is based to print the natural numbers from 1 to 5, and one more program is to display the series of even numbers until 20, and you have to start it from 2 only, because even number starts with 2 over here. We are not considering 0 as an even number over here, so we are starting it from 2. Now let us discuss this first program. In the first program what we need to do, that we have to print the natural numbers. So natural numbers are like this: 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. These are the natural numbers. Now when we have to print these numbers, we already know that number of times the loop will run. So number of times the loop will run, it will be for printing the value 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So 5 times we have to run the loop. Now we know the fixed number of iteration we have to follow in this program. So that's why we are applying the for loop over here. In this for loop, before we can discuss about the for loop, one thing is left over here, that defining the main class, that is public static void main, and in the bracket you have string args, okay, followed by the curly bracket over here. Okay, now when you need to print the thing, what you need to do, that you are first defining the class and then the main function over here. Once you have defined with the class and main function, next thing is to be done is to initialize the value for the variable. So this I variable is your control variable, because it will control the overall functioning of the loop. Okay, so in the for loop we are starting it from I equal to 1. The question arises, sir, why you have started from I is equal to 1? This is only because the starting natural number we have is starting from 1. So from 1 we have to start, so we have written it I is equal to 1. Okay, and the test condition is checked for 1 less than equal to 5. This condition is right because 1 is always less than or equal to 5. See, it is it is having two conditions, less than and equal to. If either of the condition is right, the whole output will be true over here. So 1 is less than 5, so this condition will be true over here. When the condition will be true, what will be happening? You will be getting inside the body of the loop from here on, and you will execute this first statement, system.out.println of I. So value of I was 1 over here, so 1 will be printed over here. Now when the second time this loop will run, when the second time loop will run, this is the postfix increment operator, so it will be executed when the second time the loop will run. Now when the second time loop will run, the value of I is updated by 1, that is equal to 2. So 2 less than equal to 5, this condition is still true. So again you will be executing the statement inside the body of this loop. So again you will printing the value for I. So this time the value of I is 2, so it will be printed. Now this will be repeated for the third time, having the value of I is equal to 3. So this is 3 less than equal to 5. This condition is true. In this true condition, again 3 will be printed. In the similar way, it will go for the fourth time, where the value of I will be updated to 4 over here, and the condition is true. In that case, again 4 will be printed. In the similar way, the 5 number will be printed over here. So once you have printed for 5, when the next time loop runs, the value of I is equal to 6 now. So in this case, both the conditions are false over here. When the conditions are false over here, you will exit out from this for loop, and no statement is after the for loop. So nothing will be executed or nothing will be printed. So this was the example in the first program. Now quickly take up the example of executing the for loop in the other program also, where we have to print the even number starting it. We have to print until 20 over here, okay, and the even number is starting from 2, okay. Now we will be executing it, and we will simultaneously be updating the output that will be produced with this code, okay. So first we have written the public static even numbers, public static void main string args, and then what we have done, then we have taken a for loop, and the initialization starts with I is equal to 2. This is only because the even number starts from number 2, and we have to print until 20. So what will be the even numbers printed? That will be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 and 18 and 20. All these values will be printed. Now when I is equal to 2, when condition is checked for 2 less than equal to 20, in this case the condition will be true. When the condition will be true, you will be executing the statement inside this curly bracket, printing the value system.out.println of I. So value of I is equal to 2 for the first time, so 2 will be printed. Now when the second time loop will run, over here it is written as I plus equal to 2, which is equivalent to I is equal to I plus 2. Okay, so when the second time loop runs, the value of I is equal to 0 plus 2, that is 0 plus 2 is equal to 2. Okay, so what will happen in this case? In this case, now the value of I is updated. The value of I will be equal to how much? Value of I will be equal to 4 over here. Okay, because the earlier value of I was equal to 2. So now when it will be executed, it will be equal to, over here it will be equal to how much? I is equal to I plus 2, that I is already 2 over here, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Okay, so condition will be checked for 4 less than equal to 20. Again the condition is right, so again the value of I will be printed. So first value printed was 2, now it was printed is 4. In the similar way, it will go on for the 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 and 20. Once we have done with 20, the next value over here will be 22, and which is not less than or equal to, the condition will be right. You will exit out from this loop, and no other condition is there after this, right? So in this manner you will be executing the for loop. In the next videos, I will be providing you some more programs based on the concept of for loop, and then we will be starting off with the next kind of loop, that is while loop. That's it in this video.